Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt revitalized the running game, and Amari Cooper showed out like a true wide receiver number one yesterday. And sometimes those guys, in the grand scheme of how we talk about the Browns, kind of fall through the cracks. And I do feel like we deserve and we owe them a little bit of time and dedication today because Amari Cooper played like the best offensive player on the field, and Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt made it seem like they'll never be Nick Chubb, but the Browns had a competent running game against a very good run defense yesterday, and they deserve some kudos as well.
If you add the three of them up, Cooper, Ford, and Hunt, they went for over 250 total yards. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, well, Amari Cooper made that one catch that was just ridiculous.
Terrific.
Now,
that's a great catch.
The defender slipped, but I'm not. Again, that
was the long play, but he.
You're talking about the high point.
That was an amazing play.
And got his feet in.
Yeah,
that's what a wide receiver one looks like.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's the difference between the very good to great receivers and the other guys. Like, there's so many receivers that would not have gotten there. They might have made the catch, but they wouldn't have gotten the feet in.
Right, you're right.
And he had the presence of mind to get the feet, and I mean that's a catch you make like 1 out of 50 times.
You know, it's weird. David Bell had the biggest catch of the day
yesterday.
yesterday.
That was a big play.
It was the big. It was one throw for 6 yards.
Fourth down.
And it's fourth down. If he doesn't make that catch, the game is over. They went to David Bell on the game's biggest play.
And it was the same route.
And he caught it.
Same route Goodwin caught. When he caught the ball, Goodwin kind of like was stuck in motion and like just turn around and fall.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
David Bell comes back the next drive. He was like, "Oh, I saw what you did wrong."
Yeah.
Throw the ball to him, turns around, leans over, gets the first down. It's crazy.
Can you imagine what these two would be saying if David Bell dropped
that?
My
God.
You
are kidding.
You ain't
and
lying.
fairly so, brother.
How do you go to David Bell on fourth down?
Now, we have the benefit of the results.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
we have the benefit of the results. And by the way, that play was not called for David Bell.
No, he went right to him.
He was the
looked
read.
right at him and
okay,
went right
so
to
let's
him.
say it was. So here's the situation.
Yeah.
It's 4th and 4. The game's in the balance. We're all in the huddle. Kevin Stefanski calls the play in, and we don't know the verbiage, but here's the play. We throwing it to Bell, boys. Ready? Break.
If you knew,
What are you saying?
You threw it to the open guy.
That's a great question.
What are you saying?
Hell no.
Wait, what?
I think it's like when David Blatt threw up a play. Yeah. When LeBron is here in Pounder.
No.
LeBron said, I scratched it.
Yeah, no.
I think Walker saw that he was open.
That's
going to
exactly
be
it.
open right away.
I think when he got to the line and he saw the way the Niners were playing it,
He knew it was there.
He knew he was going
Right,
to David Bell.
right.
Right.
I don't know it was necessarily a huddle call. I think it's when he got out.
Right.
And
Yeah.
David Bell said he knew it was coming to him.
Well, and here's why. Because he's not a threat. Niners are covering up guys that are threats. In that position, they think, okay, you're going to go to Njoku. You're going to go to Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
You're not going to go to David Bell.
I thought Njoku quietly had. I know the numbers weren't good.
I don't know what 4 catches.
He had a better game than the numbers show because
he had that touchdown.
Yeah,
that was a great play.
He had a 20-yard screen called back.
He had,
Jet Wills.
that's right.
He had
That
two,
would if
two
he has
plays
that
called
catch,
back.
he has 5 for 60 and a touchdown.
Yeah, that's a very solid day.
That was a good play.
First of all, hats off to this guy
playing, period.
for playing.
Yeah.
This dude is a warrior.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that must feel like.
He has raised his
He has.
stock the last 2 weeks with fans and media alike. No doubt. By the way he's played.
By catching himself
And
on
again,
fire,
on a
he's
day where
become a
his
popular player.
Stats aren't much, but he made some big blocks in the game. Like, he was a big factor in the running game.
And it's his hands too. Like
Yeah.
it's not
his right arm was wrapped in gauze when he was leaving the locker room.
Can you imagine what that must feel like, guys?
And you getting hit.
Oh, God.
It's cold outside.
And he's out there
wet.
balling out.
And when you playing in the wet, like, you got to understand, football is a nasty, smelly sport. He has to keep that clean. You can get an infection very easily if you're not doing the right stuff, man. And we've seen what happens when you got that staph infection going around Cleveland. I mean, it was rampant like one year, like it was crazy.
They couldn't get rid of it. They couldn't get rid of it.
As for the running game, you mentioned the running game there, Mike. We talked about it a little bit before. I thought both backs played pretty well.
And they stuck with it,
Yeah.
which I was glad to
And
see.
they had a lot of running plays.
I mean, they had no choice to stick with
And
it.
P.J. Walker, who didn't, I think he had like 3 carries for 1 yard, but he used his athletic ability and his legs to move around in the pocket a little bit or get out of the pocket and make a couple of plays.
Yeah.
He didn't run the ball really, but he made some plays. And I don't think, listen, I like all of us pretty much thought they would lose this game, right? There wasn't really a clear path to winning. But I believe that if they had started DTR, they would have lost.
Oh, yeah.
I think he
even though Walker didn't do much,
right.
he did just enough.
I do think DTR would have looked better the second time around.
Well, how
but
could
it's
he look
impossible.
worse? He would have had 2 weeks to prepare for it.
I just think that he would have had a little bit more confidence and a little bit more comfortability. But it's impossible to say. But I mean,
I think he can make a few. He has a little more talent to make a couple extra plays. Them throws that Walker missed in the middle of the field when he was kind of scrambling and threw the ball and show how
the last drive.
Yeah, that last drive
really
he would hit those.
You said DTR is better, more talented,
more skill, more skill.
I don't know.
Does he make those throws in that pressure situation? We don't know.
I think P.J. Walker, with all his flaws and didn't play particularly well, had more confidence than DTR would have had. I agree DTR would have had more, but more confident and just his ability to process because of his experience is going to be a little quicker.
For the most part, PJ got the ball out on time and on target.
Right.
The bad pick, I just think it was a great play by Fred Warner, actually.
That was fantastic.
Because
He's a great player.
Because if you go back and look, PJ wasn't staring him down. He started over here, like he went through his reads, but Fred just
saw it coming.
Saw it coming. He's a great
player,
made a great play.
And that's what he does.
And the sideline interception, he was under pressure. Michael Dunn got bull rushed on that play, and the pressure was coming right in his face. He was trying to get rid of it. Zach made the point of that. It was a great point. They're playing with a very limited playbook right now because the quarterback's limited. So they went back to the sideline route one too many times. The cornerback read it, jumped it, made a great play. That's why the Niners are great defensively. But for the most part, I think he got the ball out on time, on target, was safe with it. I know he had the 2 picks, almost had 3. It sounds silly to say that.
Yeah.
But the rest of the day, the ball was pretty much going where it needed to go, and it was a conservative game plan.
Right.
It was the right game plan. And he gave them a chance to win at the end. And that's all you can ask
with
him
that
in
defense.
Yes.
It's not. This is proof. It's not going to take much against most teams. This is a great team.
This is a great team.
And they were able to get it done with an all-time elite defensive effort and an effort by the quarterback.
I still believe the Niners are the best team in football.
I do too. I didn't see anything
the Browns
yesterday that
beat
changed.
them. I think it's funny. Fans often want to say, they're not that good. Well, when you say a team's not that good, you're kind of knocking your own win. The Browns fans should be saying, we just beat the best team.
Yeah.
Because you just beat the best team.
I think there's very few trash teams in the league, and I think there's a couple plays that separate really good teams and good, medium teams. But any given week you could play.
That's right.
Especially when you got guys that are out. Then you give them.
I thought the Giants were one of those trash teams, and they played right there with the Bills. So
1 yard away.
You never know. No win. The only team that's winless is Carolina. The only team, and there's no teams without a loss.
And by the way, the Browns. When you are a great team, you're bound to get hot. And I wouldn't even say that they're playing hot right now because they get turnovers.
Hot's 3 or 4 wins in a row.
Right, you just lost last week.
We're nowhere near hot right now.
Like they haven't got hot where.
Well, because they're playing great on defense, but they're playing lousy on offense.
So what I mean by hot, I mean Myles Garrett getting 5 sacks in the game. He hasn't even got. Zadarius Smith hasn't got.
Well, that's something like against Indy or Arizona that we may see because those are really bad.
Because
teams.
they're playing well as a team, right? But they still don't have, they're playing great as a team, but think about how great they play if you are now getting those interceptions. You're now getting strip sacks.
Right.
You're now, and Myles Garrett.
And complimentary, too.
Right.
And Myles Garrett can go off and be like, he's unblockable today, and he has 5 sacks.
Right now, the Browns are in the middle with 20-something other teams. Yeah. They have the ability to be, the Browns' ceiling is high. I mean, I think their ceiling is top 10 ceiling, which means you can win a Super Bowl.
What do you make of the fact, though, that they are, if the Chargers lose tonight, if they win, there's 13 of 16. If they win, or if they lose, rather, 75% of the AFC has 3 wins or more.
We knew they were going to be good coming into the season.
But 75%. Those losses
I wonder how that compares to last
year.
I wonder how that, because most of the teams are near the middle. When I say who's a great team right now, well, the best teams right now, despite this week, are still San Francisco, Philly, and Kansas City. Right? I still think they're right now the 3 best teams.
I think
the 3 worst teams are probably Carolina, New England, and the Giants. And everybody else, but even the rest of those teams are not that far off from the top teams.
I think you got to start putting the Lions in there.
You're right.
Lions are 5-1.
Lions,
they're playing great football.
I mean, they're tied right now. They're tied with the Eagles and the Niners for the best record in the NFC.
And by the way, yesterday, you talk about, making excuses for injuries. So the Lions played a Buccaneers team that had been playing very well coming into that game.
Looked good.
Their defense completely shut down Baker, right? Baker was awful in that game. He threw a pick. He made some terrible throws. Offensively, the Lions were without Jahmyr Gibbs, and David Montgomery got hurt in the game, and they still dominated.
Yep. St. Brown got 140 some odd yards.
I know he went.
You got to read, Mike? Go ahead.
I do have a read real quick, guys. We mentioned it before. I got to mention it again. But FanDuel is now officially the official sportsbook of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. You can snap into the NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, whether you win or you lose your initial $5 bet. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action than right now. Ride the Browns' momentum into your wallet. The app is easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options from everything, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and much, much more. So visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to kick off the NFL season. One more time, that is FanDuel.com/UCSS. That gets you $200 in bonus bets if you're a new customer and place a $5 bet. FanDuel, the official partner of the NFL, the official sportsbook, the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.